Hello, everyone. Today we move from abstract economic systems to the model that most modern democracies actually use, the mixed economy. If pure capitalism emphasizes market freedom and pure command economies emphasize state control, the mixed economy attempts something more pragmatic. It blends both. So let's begin with the core question: what is a mixed economy? A mixed economy is an economic system that combines elements of private market mechanisms with government intervention and regulation. It allows markets to allocate resources in many sectors, but it also authorizes the state to step in when necessary. It is neither laissez faire capitalism nor centralized socialism. It is a hybrid, and that hybridity is intentional, core principles of the mixed economy. At its foundation, the mixed economy rests on three central principles. First, private property and market exchange remain dominant. Individuals and corporations own businesses. Prices are largely determined by supply and demand. Competition drives innovation and efficiency. Second, government intervention is legitimate when markets fail to achieve socially desirable outcomes. This is where the mix becomes visible. Third, the state assumes responsibility for promoting social welfare and stabilizing the broader economy. In other words, the mixed economy recognizes both the strengths and limitations of markets. Markets are efficient, but not perfect. Governments are corrective, but not omniscient. The system attempts to balance both. Why not pure capitalism? Pure market systems assume that voluntary exchange produces optimal outcomes, but real-world markets produce what economists call market failures. These include public goods problems, externalities, information asymmetry, monopoly power, economic instability. Take public goods. National defense, for example, is non-excludable and non-rivalrous. Markets have little incentive to provide it efficiently because individuals cannot easily be excluded from benefiting. This is why even highly market-oriented economies fund defense publicly or consider externalities. Pollution is a classic example. A factory may produce goods efficiently, but if it emits harmful pollutants, it imposes costs on third parties who were not part of the transaction. Left unregulated, the market does not internalize that cost. This is where government intervention, environmental regulation, becomes justified within the mixed economy framework. Why not pure command economies? On the other end of the spectrum, pure command economies place production and pricing decisions entirely in the hands of the state. Historically, command economies struggled with inefficiency, lack of innovation, shortages, and distorted incentives. Without price signals from competitive markets, planners often misallocated resources. The collapse of the Soviet-style centralized model demonstrated the structural limitations of comprehensive command systems. The mixed economy avoids this by retaining market price mechanisms while incorporating selective government intervention. It is a compromise model, but a strategic one. Implementation, real-world examples. Now let's consider implementation. The United States is often described as a mixed economy, though more market-oriented than many European democracies. Private enterprise dominates most sectors, yet the federal government regulates financial markets, subsidizes agriculture, funds infrastructure, operates Social Security and Medicare, and manages monetary policy through the Federal Reserve. Similarly, countries like Germany, Canada, Japan, and the United Kingdom operate mixed economies, though with varying degrees of welfare provision and regulatory intensity. Scandinavian countries, Sweden, Norway, Denmark, combine robust market systems with expansive social welfare states. They maintain private ownership and competitive markets, but pair them with universal health care, strong labor protections, and extensive social insurance. These are not socialist command systems, they are advanced mixed economies. The key difference across nations lies not in whether they mix, but how much they mix. Addressing market failures. One of the central purposes of the mixed economy is correcting market failures. Let's look at several mechanisms. Regulation, government agencies establish standards for safety, labor conditions, financial transparency, and environmental protection. These aim to prevent exploitation and systemic risk. Antitrust law. To prevent monopolies from distorting competition, governments enforce antitrust statutes. Market concentration can undermine consumer welfare and political equality. Monetary policies. Central banks manage interest rates and money supply to stabilize inflation and unemployment, smoothing business cycles. Fiscal policy, government spending, and taxation can stimulate demand during recessions or cool inflation during overheating periods. The 2008 financial crisis illustrated the necessity of mixed economy mechanisms. Massive government intervention stabilized financial institutions and prevented broader economic collapse. Similarly, during the COVID-19 pandemic, fiscal stimulus packages and monetary expansion played critical roles in sustaining economic stability. Markets alone did not absorb the shock. Government action did. Promoting social welfare beyond correcting failures, mixed economies pursue social welfare objectives. Social insurance programs, unemployment benefits, disability insurance, healthcare programs provide safety nets against economic risk. Public education expands human capital. Infrastructure investment promotes long-term productivity. These programs reflect a philosophical position. Economic efficiency alone is not sufficient. A stable society requires social cohesion and baseline security. Modern liberal political theory often justifies mixed economies through social justice frameworks. The argument is not to eliminate inequality entirely, but to ensure that inequality does not undermine equal opportunity. This tension between efficiency and equity is central to the mixed economy debate. Ongoing debates. The mixed economy is not static. Debates continue regarding how much regulation is optimal, how expansive should welfare programs be. When does intervention distort incentives? When does deregulation create systemic risk? For example, debates over healthcare reform, student loan forgiveness, energy subsidies, and industrial policy are all debates about where to draw the line within the mixed model. Recent industrial policy initiatives aimed at domestic semiconductor production and clean energy investment illustrate renewed interest in strategic state intervention. The mixed economy evolves in response to global competition, technological change, and political ideology. Final reflection. The mixed economy represents a pragmatic recognition. Markets generate wealth and innovation. Governments provide correction and stability. Too little intervention can produce inequality and instability. Too much intervention can suppress innovation and efficiency. The art of political economy lies in calibrating that balance. Most modern democracies have concluded that neither pure capitalism nor pure command economies are sustainable. Instead, they mix. Understanding this model is essential for evaluating contemporary policy debates because nearly every economic policy question today is not about whether to mix, but how much. In our next lecture, we will explore how different economic models influence political power and democratic stability. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you in the next lecture.